Hello again, everyone. This is Game Collector here, and this week I have for you Transformers animated Waspinator? What? I think this is the first time I've ever been able to get him into a proper pose in his beast mode before. Ever. Where he doesn't look like the head is sagging into the ground or anything. There's not really much for him to do in this mode except his awesome gimmick, which doesn't work like that, obviously. So let me pick him back up a bit. Hold him proper. If you can see, oh, sorry, slight camera issue. A little switch on his back. It does this. And it is probably one of the best gear switch gimmicks I've ever encountered because it's really addictive to just make his wings flap while he's in his wasp mode. I'm sorry. It's like crack. Okay, he's mostly green, that greenish yellow green and purple, obviously purple, because of Decepticon stuff, and a darker shade of green and black. Now, for those of you who actually know who this is, he was formerly an Autobot recruit known as Wasp, who was a real, well, jerk is putting it nicely. And yeah, he was voiced by Tom Kenny, too. Eventually, he was accused for being a Decepticon agent when he wasn't, because it was really someone else. Spoilers involved there, which will probably be mentioned in a later video, because I have his toy. But, you know, before I go even further, I'm going to transform him, which involves taking his arms here and here, or what will be his arms, getting that and that lined up, which may result in you doing this, and then collapsing them until a little peg right there goes into a little hole right there. So, gotta do it again. And now it has arms, but not quite completely. Turn them inward, fold it out, turn it inward again, and fold it out. These little parts up here will play an important role in a little bit. Now for the legs, which just involves curving it up, pulling the foot back, turning it down, curving it up, foot back, pulling it down. And now this entire, don't really want to say midsection, well, that entire lower section of his body goes all the way down. This part goes up and can be tilted up and down, however, because he will have some slight balance issues. Turn the wings upward, and then finally, yes, this goes down. Pull the antenna back a bit, because they do kind of lock in place with this head. Pull it down, push his robot head up, but before you push this all the way down, these little prestigial arms are to be turned and rotated upward to look like little hooks. And now you press the beast mode head down and in place, and there you have Waspinator in his robot mode. And he is made up of largely ball joints, and as of animated, I have come to sort of hate ball joints because of how loose they can become just out of friction. There is a non-animated toy who suffers from a somewhat similar problem, if not the exact same problem. And I may or may not do a review on that toy, too. Granted, it was actually made after animated, but that's something else entirely. His little flappy wing gimmick still works. Not that it's any more fun in this mode. And if you look at the head, it is detailed to look like Beast Wars Waspinators, obviously. And yes, oh, sorry, light pipe purple. The everything else on him isn't exactly light piped. It's just clear plastic. And as for his posability, he has a ball joint shoulder, which gives him a very smooth range of motion, and thankfully those are still tight. A hinged elbow, mostly due in part to his transformation and, posability itself. Little prestigial arms are attached via ball joint onto this plate. I'll open the head up a bit so you can see it. Right there. Allows quite a bit of motion. Now, I haven't read up on animated for a while, and animated is coming back to the hub, or coming back to television, and going into reruns on the hub sometime either in June or July. I am thrilled. Which in part is kind of related to what I'm doing here, because as a follow-up I'm going to be doing the animated series that came after animated. And now his leg joint movement. Ball jointed hips with a thigh swivel. Hinged knee, which can go back like that. And then pull all the way forward, but that's mostly due to his beast mode. And a hinged foot, which again, due to beast mode, folds forward instead of backwards all the way. His head is on a ball joint, but due to its kind of wonky shape, making him look down and up just makes him look like he's looking forward. The neck itself is also on a hinge, and his head can be turned 360 degrees, which again just makes him look like some sort of mutant freak. But considering his origins in the television show, he is some sort of mutant freak. Considering that he was wanted on the run, found Black Arachnia, who turned him into a techno-organic bug fusion thing. Wow, this has probably been one of the shorter reviews. And now, as a recap, here's his bio card. And it even shows, press to flap wings. Feel free to pause here now that it's all in view. And galactic powers and abilities. Energy Stinger paralyzes other robots, can survive even after being blown to pieces. Certainly not a reference to Beast Wars at all. Was an Autobot before his time in prison. Didn't I just tell you guys that? And he has a quote. Wow, if that just doesn't come out of Beast Wars. Well, not much to say about him after that. Well, this has been Game Collector, and this has been another game review, and I will see you next week. Later.